Optimizing your reloading bench with InLine Fabrication on this episode of 6'5 Guys.
This episode of 6'5 Guys is brought to you by Defiance Machine, defying tradition with innovation. Our Bros Rifles, precision on another level. JC Steel Targets, the industry leader in quality AR-500 steel targets.
Welcome to 6'5 Guys. I'm Steve Lawrence.
And I'm Ed Mobley. You know, a lot of you probably recall that episode on the Dillon 550 where I had kludged together a little bin barrier.
With cardboard?
Yeah, with cardboard and a piece of tape. And then somebody said, hey, you need to check out the bin barriers from InLine Fabrication, which I did. And then when I went up to their website, I noticed that they just had a plethora of products to basically optimize and organize your reloading bench. And so, you know, that's what we'd like to share with the audience today.
Absolutely. In fact, the timing worked out kind of interesting because as you were exploring those products, I had just completed the bench you see before us and put on my bench this press from Hornady. This is the Hornady Lock and Load AP. And I decided to use the InLine Fabrication mount for this.
Yeah, and I decided to do something similar with my my Dillon 550, and so, you know, why don't we explore those enhancements to the presses as well as some of their other organization products.
That sounds great. Well, Ed, since your press is right here in the middle, do you want to go ahead and go through it first?
Yeah, so for my Dillon 550, I got the skylight system, and of course I removed the primer tube assembly here so that you can get a closer look at it. But the skylight assembly just pops right into the tool head. And while they provide hardware to sort of run the cable, I just like being able to take it out and also just use it as a handy little flashlight all around my bench. And then what I also got was the ultra mount stand. And, you know, since I brought my press here just to set up at your place, I didn't fasten it to the bench. And I just found out just how well balanced it is. And it almost got me thinking that if you wanted a truly portable setup, you could place some bags of lead shot here on the cross member, and it would actually be you know, quite a portable arrangement. And they also make a you know, a different handle for the Dillon, but, you know, I kind of like the factory setup, but again, they do have an option. And of course, you know, there's a bin barrier, which, you know, has just, for me, that's just a real handy setup so that, you know, rounds don't start, you know, spilling out of your bin as you're reloading. So, you know, that's what I did to optimize and accessorize my 550.
So Ed, tell us a little bit about some of the additional accessories you're looking at.
Yeah, so this is what I'm going to do to organize my reloading bench. I'm going to get plenty of these bins. And what's nice about the way this whole thing works is they have a wall mount bracket where you can buy different accessories and you can just move them around and then they just fit right in. And then all you have to do is once you get it in the right area, you just tighten it up right here with a screwdriver. And what I like about this is, you know, unlike a pegboard, you're not going to be, you know, knocking stuff loose. What I find really handy here is they've got this primer tube holder right here, because normally these primer tubes, you know, I put in a drawer or leave on the top of my reloading bench, but now I can have them, you know, arranged rather neatly. And then, you know, I still use a single stage press for certain things, and then our amp annealer also uses the shell holders to hold particular cases. So I just like the idea of being able to organize my shell holders. And then, you know, for folks who own a Dillon, you're probably quite familiar with this. And this little bracket right here is really handy because it allows you to mount the entire tool head. And then it also holds these little stops right here that go onto the Dillon. And then of course your shell plate goes right here. So I'm going to get a number of those and then have all of these. I mean, I could probably have just one rail just outfitted with my my various Dillon tool heads. So that's what I plan to do in my reloading room. All right, Steve, tell the audience what you did to accessorize your Hornady lock and load.
Well, there's a number of things that I looked at. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the first thing I got was the Hornady Ultra Mount for the Hornady Lock and Load AP. Again, super sturdy, you know, with all the weight that it's carrying, and as you kind of are loading, you know, in my case, 1,000 rounds in one sitting, you want something that's not going to move, and this is very, very stable. So very worth the investment. The other thing I looked at was this accessory mount. So this actually replaces the Hornady mount that you get with this press for the shell bin that comes off the press. This is actually much more stable, allows you to use a bigger box. And so I got that, that's $20. Then there's the Ergo roller mount. So what this does is it puts the press mount farther back, and it's on a bearing system versus just a straight handle with the ball. I found, you know, when I'm reloading over several hundred cases, that ball, you either have to wear a glove or you could potentially get blisters. This is much easier. I think it is very ergonomic in terms of the way it's designed. So I got that accessory. And then lastly is the skylight LED. So that comes right in the top. Then there's also a 4-inch strip of LEDs on the back. This allows me to really highlight the work area. So for example, if I have a case, I can peer in very easily, see if there's powder in it, if there's any sort of you know, occlusions or things on the brass that may prevent a bullet from seating correctly, that sort of thing. So, you know, in a garage particularly, it's not very well lit. This provides all the light that I need to work efficiently without my eyes tiring out. So that was well worth the investment as well. So that's pretty much how I've decked out my system right now. That obviously there's a lot more accessories, but I think I'm good to go for now.
All right, Steve, show the folks how you are going to optimize and organize your reloading bench using the InLine Fabrication products.
You know, when I looked at the vast array of products that InLine Fabrication offers, I found a number of things I would like, but I wanted to try out the things I know that I would have an immediate use for. Now with a progressive press, one of the things you'll find is you'll quickly begin collecting a number of things to go with it, and it's a very difficult way to organize it. So right now I have a big plastic bin. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try this wall mount with a few of their organizers that they offer. In this case, I have my 223 setup for progressive. Got my AP Hornady powder drop measure that's set up for 223, my 223 dies in the Hornady bushings. So this is something that I can go ahead and set down. When I'm ready to load 223, I have everything here to go ahead and drop into that press. Obviously, I've got shell plates for a number of different rounds, and I also reload with a number of different primer types and primer sizes. So they have an organizer for a primer tubes. And of course, you know, if you have different bins and whatnot, they have organizers for that. So this is probably representative of something I would do for 223 and have something very similar to this in 308. You know, that was really interesting to see all the different products that InLine Fabrication offers.
Absolutely, and we also want to give a real call out to Dan, the owner of InLine Fabrication, because he sent us these products for review like 4 or 5 months ago, and he patiently waited for us to actually...
Well, we took the summer off.
Yeah, well, yeah, for us to get around to it. So
yeah.
We really want to thank Dan of InLine Fabrication.
Absolutely, and in fact, as we got into the testing of these products, I really fell in love with a number of them, and will find, very much use in using them. And of course, like all of the reviews, the products that we review and decide to keep, we'll be paying for it.
Yeah, absolutely, and so I'm going to be placing a nice order with Dan because my reloading bench is just a complete disaster.
Guys, if you found any of these products interesting or interested in organizing and optimizing your reloading and reloading bench, be sure to check out InLine Fabrication and all of the accessories and products that they offer.
Yeah, and also check out our website, 65guys.com, because we'll have a more detailed written article to accompany this video, as we have with all of our videos.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube and share it with your friends on Facebook.
Remember, folks, life's an adventure.
Stay on target.